I'm a Year 5 teacher and I'm lucky enough to work in a classroom with a one-to-one MacBook program. Each of my students has an 11-inch MacBook Air. I have my own MacBook Air that I use, as well as an iPad that I use for my own purposes, mainly for assessment. I also am very lucky enough to have a 3D printer in my classroom, which I use at least once a term with my class.
In my Year 1 classroom, I have a projector and I have a set of 6 iPads for the children.
I use technology on a day-to-day basis, mainly for spelling, so my students can listen to their spelling words recorded. They can listen to these at home then when they're doing the homework. We use it for their tests. I get the students to make a quick comic strip or a video to show me what they've learnt on a topic, or to create a feedback for our blog posts as well.
I use my projector in my classroom for my whole group learning, where I share videos and we do examples together. I also use a set of 6 iPads for my students, especially in stations when we're doing guided reading groups or in our literacy block. I use my own iPad as an assessment tool, and that keeps track of my records and photos for taking student assessment.
My students are currently working on a problem-based task where they are researching and planning their own playground to replace the current school playground. The final product will be a website that they've created on their own using their MacBooks. They are researching various websites with playground equipment that I've given them, and they're also going to be interviewing certain people via email as well as Skype and video link.
In a Year 1 classroom, it is vital to teach students how to handle IT and equipment, especially when using iPads. At the start of the year, we have a lesson on how to handle an iPad and how to use it, and we also have a set of rules and instructions on every iPad in the classroom with pictures, as well as the written rules. And students are aware of if they don't follow the rules, then they're not allowed to use an iPad.
If I was setting up my use of technology in my classroom again, I would certainly focus on digital citizenship. It's an area that students can easily forget about and they slip into bad patterns. Focusing on internet safety is something that my class has really enjoyed this year as well. I'd also focus on basics such as typing skills or using Word or Excel to create data representations, skills that they're actually going to use in the real world one day.
If I was to handle stuff different in the beginning of the year, I would beg my principal for an Apple TV so that I can easily flick up ideas and lessons I have on my iPad or my Mac to make it more accessible for students and myself.
My top 3 tools that I use with technology in my classroom would be number 1, Google Apps for Education. It's the most incredible tool that I've ever found, and it makes my life so much easier in terms of communicating with students, and including the full suite of Google apps, so Docs or spreadsheets or anything along those lines. Number 2 would be Comic Life, which is a great app, and you can use it for kids as just assessment or brainstorming or anything along those lines. And the third one would definitely be Creative Book Builder as an app for a teacher. It's great to use for assessment, and come report time, it's awesome to have it all just there in one place. The main areas that I really further my own tech knowledge is through general conversations with colleagues who are doing similar things in their classroom and seeing what's working with them, learning from my own past mistakes, what didn't work last year or what didn't work with that activity. Twitter is where I get most of my inspiration from. Follow me at Claire Cooper 014. Blogs, various people's blogs that have been recommended, blogs that I found on my own, going to PDs, just getting your name out there and just not being afraid to talk to people and asking them what works for them.
Using technology in a classroom, especially in the early childhood years, is something that I'm working towards further developing. I can do this I have my own Twitter handle, which is @ClaireTomo, and I follow some fantastic ICT educators that are helping me to use it in my classroom. I have recently started to use Creative Book Builder, which is a fantastic assessment tool to manage students' progress, especially for those students who are on IEP or CAPS, where you are going to take a picture of something that they have concrete made or done, and it's fantastic to be able to add notes on there, and then I can just print that off as a report for all my parents and keep a progress on it.